Okay, so for today's video, I'm going to be talking about presentness and how you should cultivate presentness in your life, right? And so, what do I mean by this? Well, I mean exactly what it says. Presentness means being in the present moment, right? So, a lot of times, the present moment can be, whether we're at work or whether we're at an event that we don't want to be at, or even at our own house, right? We can have this uncomfortability with the present moment, right? And in these moments, right, we kind of just we use our fantasy or we use our imagination to kind of escape what is actually happening in the present moment, right? So whether it's let's say you're at work and then you're imagining a future event, like playing video games or a certain movie that you're looking forward to watching, or maybe you're looking forward to hanging out with a friend, right? You create these imaginary present moments in your head in order to make your actual present moment, or in order to escape your actual present moment, right? But what this ends up happening is, especially if you create a habit of doing this, it makes you unconnected with the present moment, and you kind of I don't even know how to describe it, but let me ask you this, right? Why is it important to be in the present moment? That's a good question. Why is it important to be in the present moment? And I'll explain it like this, right? Let's say, and I've kind of already explained it with the video talk about patience, and it kind of goes with this. But let's say you're at work, right? And you're at your work, and you're imagining, like I said, the future fantasy, whatever. Playing video games, hanging out with a friend, watching a movie, whatever. Um, or getting high for that's something I did a lot, right? And you have this in your imagination, right? And you're trying to escape what's actually happening in your present moment. And let's say you did that for your entire work shift, right? And so in your work shift, you literally were just in your head daydreaming and fantasizing, and not actually in the present moment, and not actually paying attention, and not actually being here now, right? And so not only does that affect the people around you, but and it also affects you. And so, but why is that a bad thing? Because it seems like a good thing, because all you're doing is just cheering up your mood to make your environment better, right? Or to make what's actually happening more tolerable. But but why is that a bad thing? Because it's a bad thing. Because what if that work shift that you thought was so unbearable was your actual last work shift, and right when you clocked out, you had a heart attack and died, right? Like truly try to imagine that, right? Because you know when you go to work, right? When you have a job that typically does the same thing all the time, right? You get this sense of repetition, or the sense of, hey, I did this yesterday and I got to do this tomorrow, and it's the same thing every day, and it's not like it doesn't stop, right? And it seems like forever. You get this feeling that this is gonna last forever, right? And you don't really understand how what temporariness is, right? You don't really take into account the fact that it's a possibility that you could have a heart attack when you clock out. That, especially for young people like me, we have this idea that we think we're gonna live forever. That we have all the time in the world, right? And we don't truly understand that, first of all, you could die young. Just because I'm 22 and I eat healthy does not prevent me from, and I exercise and everything, but that does not prevent me from, getting shot, or from being there's so many accidental deaths that can happen that you don't take for consideration, or even a heart attack, right? Which heart attack's very unlikely, but kind of just play with me for a second. So you take for granted the actual present moment that is in front of you, and you think that it's gonna last forever, right? And this is what kind of causes impatienceness. This is what we're talking about, coming back to the present moment, right? And so yeah, you don't want to you want to try to get out of the mindset of that this is gonna last forever, because if you were on your deathbed, right, and you were looking back on all of your life, right, all of your memories, all the way talking about all the way back to childhood, from your 20s, 30s, everything, right, you would notice, not even notice, but you will regret one thing. There would be you have a number one regret more than all the others. You wouldn't regret learning a new language. You wouldn't regret learning how to play an instrument. You wouldn't regret learning how to paint. You wouldn't have any. I mean, you would probably have these regrets, obviously, but there's going to be one regret that dominates all of these, right? And that one regret will be fully appreciating the present moment and being here now and not taking the moment for granted, right? And so it is good to have a reminder of death as much as you can. And I'm not gonna act like I'm perfect. I don't do it all the time. And you don't want to give yourself anxiety about it either. You don't want to be like, oh, you gotta be present. This could be your last words. You don't want to you don't want to make yourself anxious about it, but just have it in mind, right? Hey, I understand you're looking forward to a future event, and you really want to watch that movie. Like for me, Deadpool Wolverine, that's the movie I'm looking forward to the most. But that's very far away. But like that's just an example. Or get a high. But anyway, you're like, I understand you're looking forward to that, and I don't get high anymore, so I'm just gonna use that movie as an example. I understand you're looking forward to that movie, but you don't even know if you're going to be alive when that movie comes out. Like even though it's unlikely, you probably will be alive, but still understand that there is a small percent chance that you might die, when you're young, and you just kind of need to have death in your mind, not all the time, but you don't want to be ignorant. You don't want to be running from death. You don't want to be arrogant, if that's the word, to the fact that you can die, and you just need to have that in mind to allow you to fully appreciate this present moment right here, right now. Like I can die after I record this video, and so, as I record this video, I really need to kind of treat this video as if this is my last video, because not only will it make the video better because I'm more present and I'm more here and I'm paying attention and I'm fully appreciating the process of making a video, but yeah, it's just the fact of death is uncertain. Death is unknown. Just because you don't know when it's gonna come doesn't mean it's not coming, right? And so, I think a lot of us forget that, right? We forget the fact that it's coming, but we think that it's gonna be so far away and so into the future. Like I remember being in elementary school and being in middle school, and I used to think high school was so far away that I would never be in high school. I never thought that I would actually see myself in high school. And when I was in high school, I never thought I would be in the workforce and be able to pay my own bills and being an adult. I never really thought that I would get there. I thought it was so far away and then the fact that I'm here now, it's just so crazy to me. The fact that I went from that, and I still remember what it's like being in high school. I'm only 22, but I still remember that, and it's still in my mind. I still, but it's just a fact of you need to have that kind of reminder, that urgency of, hey, kind of treat your day like it's your last day on earth. And you hear this all the time, but it's kind of cliche now, and people kind of it goes in one ear out the other, and people don't really take it serious. And you really need to kind of take it serious. You need to take life serious, not take life too serious, but don't ignore the fact of how precious life is, how temporary life is. The fact that, like I said, tomorrow isn't guaranteed. And so you don't need to be putting things off till tomorrow. Like if you've got a problem that needs to be solved, right? Like if you got something that needs to be done, right? You don't say, hey, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it later, because you don't even know if you have later. So why not just take this opportunity while you can and solve this problem, deal with what you need to deal with right now. Like, for example, my fridge was getting dirty. And I saw that and I was like, oh, that's kind of messy. I should probably clean it up. And then my mom was like, oh, we could do that later. Don't worry about it. Then I was like, hold on now. I'll probably say that later. When later comes, I'll probably say do it later. And so why not just go ahead and do it now, so that way I don't have to worry about doing it later. And so, not only does that clean your mind because it's one less worry to worry about, but it also, it gets you to be in the present moment. And so you'll have a sense of presentness. And this is an energy thing too, because you could tell when people are in their head and, they're distracting themselves with thoughts and fantasies and imaginations versus other people that are fully here in this present moment and are just fully appreciating the fact that they are alive. It's a type of energy, and it's something that, it probably can be cultivated overnight, but with practice and reminders of death and how temporary this shit is, over time you will have this energy of presentness, and you will just learn how to fully appreciate the present moment, and you'll be more patient, and you'll take your time with things, and you'll just be grateful to be alive. And this is something that takes time and practice to cultivate, but it's just more about creating the thoughts that get you into that presentness, right? And so, however, just I can tell you all the thoughts that I use to get me to be present, but really it's kind of individual, like it's kind of unique to the individual, because we all have unique our own creativity. So you have to kind of like use your own creativity as your own thought, like use your own creativity to create your own thoughts that get you to be present, because the thoughts that you create that get you to be present aren't the same thoughts that I create that get me to be present. And I'll go ahead and explain all the thoughts that I have that kind of get me to be present. Of course, I think about death, but I kind of get creative with it, right? Sometimes I think of, what if I'm looking up at an asteroid, and an asteroid's about to hit me, or about to hit Earth and destroy all of life, right? And I'm looking at that asteroid, and I only have a few minutes before it hits. And I'm just fully appreciating the last few minutes. I'm not freaking out. I'm not panicking that I'm about to die, but I'm just appreciating my last few minutes on this earth, right? Like that is a way of using your creativity to be present. Or another way that I use it is, I imagine myself on my deathbed, right? And I'm looking back on all my memories, and I'm looking back on all of my life, and I imagine myself being on my deathbed, but I time travel back to this moment, right? So I'm on my deathbed, and I wish I could fully go back to when I was young and fully appreciate the present moment, and not take life for granted, and live my life to the fullest, right? And make the right decisions, and live every day to its fullest, right? And I can imagine myself being on my deathbed and having these regrets, right? And then I imagine myself being in that deathbed, but time traveling right here into my 22. So I was just old, I was just about to die, and then bam, I time travel. Now I'm here, I'm young again, and I'm back, and now I'm fully appreciating the present moment. I'm making the right decisions, I'm not procrastinating, and yeah, I'm going to make the best and the most of my day. And yeah, that is how you cultivate presentness. I recommend y'all try to use your own creativity to see how you can get yourself to be more present. It's kind of a game, really. It is a game. You try to like make it fun. Don't, like I said, don't create anxiety about it, but make it fun. How can you create, instead of using your imagination to escape the present moment, use your imagination to be in the present moment. Oh, that's a good one. I love that. But I love that. That sums up the whole video. Yeah, instead of using your imagination to escape the present moment, use your imagination to be in the present moment. And that is it for the video. I hope y'all enjoyed, and I'll see you on the next one.